Any questions?
Yes,
Ooh,
I have a
that was
question.
That was a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah, just to wake up those who, may have had a little nod during the break.
What are you trying to say?
No, nothing.
No,
James.
fire away.
I would like you to clarify a little bit your point about description in evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please clarify what you meant about there not being a description when you're evaluating?
Okay, so it's going to be difficult for me to be absolutely specific here to your exact exam board, and I encourage every single student out there to follow the guidance that you've been given by your teacher for the last 2 years. Okay, I think that is the main message, because who am I at this late stage to tell you to scrap that and to do something else? I'm just this guy who's on YouTube and offering you some insight into some possible topics. So on that basis, follow the guidance and the advice you've been given by your teacher, and especially if you've been practicing that over and over again, that is by far your most reliable way to prepare yourself for your exams. The point I was making, and I think at this point I'm now talking to teachers at this point, is that if we look at, and it varies by the way for exam board to exam board, if we look at AO1 through to AO3, and remember they are different for different exam boards, there has been a tendency for something like an evaluate question to, well, it will incorporate different assessment objectives. So on that basis, some teachers have interpreted that and have said, well, students, what you have to do is you have to describe the concept and then afterwards you have to evaluate it. The point I would throw back to people, and it's completely open to you how you interpret this information, is that by definition it's not possible to evaluate something without describing it. If I take this digital pen, well, it's not digital, but it works in a digital setting. If I'm going to describe this, I'm going to call it solid plastic, robust, it doesn't emit ink. These are the characteristics. If I'm going to evaluate, I'm going to say a strength of this pen is it's made of solid, robust plastic and it's hard to break. So that's an evaluative statement, but it involves a description. If I say a weakness of this pen is that it does not emit ink and therefore is not appropriate for writing onto paper, I am describing the characteristic of the pen, but I'm doing that within an evaluative statement. So my point is that if we really want to encourage coherent writing, that ideally should be the way that we look to do it. But let me suffix it once more that every student who is listening to this message is going to follow the guidance that they've been given for the last 2 years at least from the teacher that's been in the classroom with them. And what you're going to do is you're going to continue to practice and produce your answers in the format that your teacher has advised it. I just think we've got a longer discussion to have on that one. But anyway, I'm going into like teacher training mode, so I'll stop.